Hello and welcome to the
Hi,
Flock Podcast, which is a little bit of everything
thank you.
brought to you by the Flocking Network. So, tonight we have Karma on, and we're going to be talking about resin and crafts and a little bit about our journey through this process and all of that. So, if you like what you hear and you dig the vibe and you want to support the flock, make sure that you visit the Buy Me a Coffee page. From there, you can sign up for a membership, leave a donation, grab some flocking merch. And if you'd like to be on the Flock podcast, there is also a link for that as well. All of the links are in the show notes, along with Karma's Etsy store. So if you like what you see tonight and you want to purchase anything, that is going to be available down below. So let's get into this topic. So you've made me a whole bunch of resin stuff. And I wanted to bring you on and I
Okay.
wanted to go over the process of all of this and how it's done. And because there's a lot that goes into it, like with the colors and the different molds and the lettering that you put on it. And like, and then you do this whole, like, there's a whole nother section of that that's personalized and everything too. So
hmm
I guess let's start with how did you even get into the resin aspect? Let's just talk about the resin for a second.
The resin, a couple of years ago, I wanted to do some trays, and I did them with the metal trays you get from the dollar store. And I wanted to cover them, so I covered them in resin. And I was like, I want to play with this some more. So a year later, I started playing with it, and I fell in love with it. I've only been doing it for about a year now.
You've only been doing this for a year?
hmm Yeah, the first thing I sent you was pretty much the first big thing that I did.
The pink set that first one that you made me,
hmm
right?
The pink set, yeah.
And I will say that you have been getting like much better at this, and like the quality and everything and the molds and the stuff that you've been able to do with this has been spectacular. This is still
Thank
one of my
you.
favorite pieces is this one right here that you made me. It's the book holder that you put
Oh,
your thumb through and it holds the pages open. Yeah, I love this thing. This is probably like my
I like
favorite piece
those.
that you've made me. The other one I like a little bit better, but that one's in my bag. But yeah, this one stays on my desk right here. I use that all the time.
Yeah,
I
I
do
like
love it.
those. It was
So
y'all's idea, you and shit mess.
what is your favorite part of this process?
The creativity, the learning to let go. Because with resin, the main thing is it has a mind of its own. You are not in charge. What you lay down and what it looks like when you lay it is not what it looks like when it's done. So you have to learn to let go. And I am a very passionate person about doing things my way. So I have to learn to let that go.
Right, like when
And
one
nine
messes
out of
up
ten
and
times
you
they come out pretty good. And the patience part, I'm learning patience because I am not patient at all. Like,
how long does it take to cure? So like
24 to
I
48
guess do you want
hours.
to get it so you set
It,
up a whole process for us, right?
right. Yes. Yes. I have. Well, let's see. You want me to go ahead and move this? And I'll set it up while I'm talking
Yeah,
to
I
you.
mean, I guess we can kind of like ask questions along the way and we can kind of do like a show and tell type thing. I think that's what we're
Okay.
going to do here. She is not
I got to try to
stubborn.
remember to get
She's
everything
just determined.
in. Okay. I've set up a few different like steps of the process, if you know what I mean. And
Mhm.
this one we can start all fresh right here. These are for extras. These are already done and cured. It takes about 24 hours for mine. Um, let's see if you can see this. This hold on.
Yeah, you just got to let it buffer a little bit. Your
This is
internet's catching up. It's a lot. With crystal clear. Okay, I see that.
tension resin. That's the kind I use. I love it. Mine takes 24 hours to set up. It also depends on temperature too. Sometimes if it's a little cold in here, it'll take a little bit longer, depending. The mixing process doesn't take long at all. You mix one part of resin, one part of hardener, um, mix for 5 minutes, and then pour. Add your colors in or whatever, and then you pour it in.
Can you show us the mold, that white mold up closer a little bit? I guess I can do this too. Hold
This
on.
one?
I can yeah, I can
Oh, okay.
do like that. Let's see if that's better. Can we do it like this? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I want this here though. There we go. I did it. All right.
There we
Got
go.
stuff. I was like, I know there's a way.
Is it still okay?
There, I got you, shit mess.
Just making sure it's not blurry. These are tattoos. I put them on sometimes. They're fun.
Okay,
I
so
have
what is
one
this
that I can
mold
put
of
on.
then?
This is a tray.
Oh, okay.
It's like a little trinket tray, kind of like the one I made James. Did you see that one? The one I made James?
Probably.
Shit mess wants you to make Karma 2.0
I
bigger.
did. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right. So those are just little tattoo stickers?
Yeah, that's a tattoo. And you put them on the same way you would put them on your skin. And they stick the same. The only thing is when you pull them out, you have to put a layer over top because they got a little sticky film over them. And that's the one that hasn't been poured at all. These three are set. They're just ready to be topped. And then I have some that after I show you how to pour, we can show you the demolding. That's the fun part. When you pull everything out and see what happens.
Okay, so what part of the process are you doing right now?
I'm getting ready to pour this resin.
All right, we are doing the hair up process at the moment. We do not want our hair to get in there.
The long hair, and we do not want to.
This is much like so is this much like a lunch like you not only do you not want the resin in your hair, but you also don't want your hair in the resin.
Exactly. Okay. Hair, dust, all that. So while I'm telling you, I am not an expert at this. I learned this on my own, just playing around. I don't do it the way. I'm not a safety person. I don't wear the gloves. I don't do the mask. It's ventilated. It's no odor. So I think I'm fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm an 80s kid.
Listen, here, I got a disclaimer for you. These are all opinions and hypothetical.
Exactly. I just wanted to explain that in case somebody come in your comments later, somebody should be wearing a mask. I don't do that. I got the big cup. I don't know if you can see.
Is there going to be a craft day at Flockfest? Yeah, there are going to be a multitude of crafts and Karma. So I guess so what do you pour? Bex, remind me a little bit with that question.
I got you. I got that answer too. This is the part A. You pour equal parts. So let's say I'm going to do 8 full ounces. So I'll pour four full ounces of the resin, and then the same amount of the hardener, which would be the total of 8. And then we stir for like 5 minutes.
Do the molds tell you how many ounces it's going to need to fill it?
No. Well, sometimes you get lucky and you'll get a manufacturer that'll put it on paperwork, but 9 out of 10 times, no. What you can do is you can do water displacement, where you fill the mold up with water. Then however much you pour it in a measuring cup, and then it'll tell you how many ounces it'll be.
Oh, okay.
I don't do that.
What?
I don't do that. We just go by trial and error, and that's how Karma does things. All right, we got exactly. I want to make sure we're exactly on 4 because I think we're a little bit over. And if you go over, just pour it back in there. And then let it set until it all comes back down to the bottom. You want it even. If you don't pour even amount, you don't set up right. It won't cure right. And you'll end up with soft, like rubbery pieces. And that's not a good sign. Nobody wants that. Okay, so we're even on 4. And we'll move to the hardener. And then when I get ready to stir, I'll have to get somebody to keep up with 5 minutes for me. Since I'm using my phone, I don't have a timer.
Okay, we're gonna have to keep time. Okay, we'll put shit mess on the timer.
Long. It's just like 5 minutes.
We'll put shit mess on the timer.
Ooh, there we go. That was perfect.
Hello, all. Welcome in. For those of you just coming in here, we're learning about the resin process and how Karma does things here. Karma makes some pretty fucking unique pieces. And we'll go through that later. I got a couple laying around here. We can show off in a bit. Some of my other pieces are in the house.
Shit mess. Just let me know when 5 minutes hits. Around about 4 or 5 minutes.
All right, we got 8:11 on the clock right now.
When you start to stir it, you'll see it get cloudy. And you just
when do you put the color in?
Not yet. You mix it
Okay.
first. I mean, people do that different. Some people will put their color. I have found that no, it just works better for me if I do it by itself, like in different cups when I get it mixed. Because sometimes I guess it's just the chemicals and they all mix together and it don't mix properly. For me
Okay.
anyway. I try to go slow so I don't get many bubbles, but you're gonna have bubbles. They're like, pour just do it slow, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. There's gonna be bubbles.
How do you get the bubbles out? Is that like what you see with the
When you
heat
pour
guns?
it, you pour it slow, yeah, and then you use your heat gun. I pour mine really slow, and then you can either squirt it with like 91% alcohol, or use a torch, or a heat gun. I don't like to use a heat gun with these small ones because it'll throw it out, and I'll end
Mm.
up with resin everywhere. So I just use the alcohol or the little torch. It's like a little lighter.
With the alcohol, do you just like wipe it over it or do you pour it?
No, just spray it. You put it in a
Oh,
little
you
spritz
spray it.
bottle and
Okay.
just spray it. And you'll see them pop. And then you just let it sit for a little bit. Keep an eye on it for maybe, I watch mine for about maybe the first 30 minutes, which that's a lot. I walk back and forth, 500 times because I have a problem
She's
with
like, that's a
patience.
lie.
That's a lot. But yeah, they'll rise to the top over time as it's curing. And if you catch them in enough time, you can pop them in with either like a toothpick if it starts to get too hard. Because you can burn it. So don't hold your lighter on there too long. I learned that the hard way. You end up with burnt spots on your
Do-
resin.
Does the consistency of it change?
No, the look of it does. It stays about the same consistency, but if you know, I can't tell if you can see. It looks kind of cloudy still
Okay.
down in the bottom. And when it starts to clear up, that's when you know it's 100% mixed. It doesn't really change consistency until it starts to harden and cure. And you have, I think it's like a
Yeah, we're at 2
25 or 30
minutes.
minute work time
Yeah, we're at 2 minutes.
after you get it mixed. At 2 minutes, or do I have 2 minutes?
No, we're at 2 minutes. You have three
Oh, at
minutes
2 minutes.
left.
Okay.
Is this tray for anybody in particular, or is it just one that you're making for this?
Flock Fest.
Oh,
For the
okay.
Flock Fest table. That's what all of this is for. That's what I've been working on lately.
Okay. So Karma is going to have a table at Flockfest. She is going to be one of our booths. If anybody is coming or interested in coming to Flockfest, there are clickables for all of that. And yeah, Karma's going to have a booth. We got a couple flockers that are going to have a booth there doing some stuff, and we're going to have some craft things going on. And it's gonna be a vibe this year. It is. I'm excited.
It is. I'm excited. I'm excited too because that'll be my first like real event. I've never done any, like craft shows or anything like that before. I made a mess.
Oh my goodness, you should. 100%. Your stuff is amazing.
Thank
Bax says we need to find a tiara mold.
you. Girl, I have been looking. I'm seriously thinking about taking the tiaras that I have left over from Purple Princesses and trying to make my own mold out of them. Because I bought that when I got her little princess crown. Oh hey Colin. I have 3 more left. So I could put that in like a different kind of silicone and make my own molds, but I haven't ventured there yet.
Okay.
I figured I'd get
That's
this.
a whole nother
Get,
YouTubing process, isn't it?
yes, that's a whole nother research, learning process, and all that good stuff.
So are the molds rubber or are they plastic?
They're silicone, like
I
the
guess
little
I guess I
silicone
guess
baking
that answered my
mats,
own question. That was a dumb question. I guess it
and it
looked
doesn't
harder than it
stick.
was.
Yeah, see, it's real like flimsy.
Oh, okay.
And some people use a mold release spray. So far, I haven't had any problems with any release like that. So I
Are
have
you
had problems where like my mold's been defective.
well, is that what you were telling me about earlier when the mold was like it like adhered to so it like melted
It melted.
into the
Yeah, it
resin?
melted to the resin. Yeah, and I still haven't figured out why. That hasn't happened with a lot of them. It was just a few, and I was figuring it was the resin's all the same. I never changed my resin. I used the same resin in different projects at the same time, and they didn't do it, so it had to be the molds.
All right, we're at
And
5 minutes.
okay, yeah, it looks pretty clear. You can see it when it gets pretty clear Tell Colin that his boy is on the couch. He's fine.
Colin Gus is fine. He's on the couch.
Yeah, he's fine. All right, and then I take these little cups right here. This is the color part. This part,
Oh, okay.
maybe.
So you said you had 30 minutes of working time with this. So that means you have 30
Pretty
minutes
much.
before it starts doing
Right.
anything. Okay.
Exactly.
So you gotta
And
work, you gotta kind of know what you're doing at this point.
exactly. Yeah, that's why I said it takes practice. That way, the practice part comes with just the mixing and the getting it in before it starts to set. But if it starts to set, you can take a heat gun and blow it a little bit, and it'll loosen back up for you for a little bit longer. Um, let's see. Yeah.
Is it
Where
just
else?
like
Let me see.
food dye? Oh, it's like a powder.
It's like a powder. It's mica powder.
Okay.
I couldn't explain that to you at all. It's shiny and it's like glittery. It's glittery. That's the best I can tell you.
So is there a
I think
ratio
I'll
to this too?
um just a scoopful. It'll lighter or darker. I guess you could say the more you want, the darker it'll get. The lighter you go, the less you use.
So
I
kind of
just
like
usually
food
use a whole
coloring.
scoop. Kind of, yeah. I just usually use a scoop every time. Hold on, we're gonna do this one in a purple. But before we put the resin in, I want to lay this tattoo down. Can you see the mold still?
Yes, we can.
Now everybody knows how to put on temporary tattoo, right?
That's it.
You
When you
cut it
said it
out.
was
You
just like the ones that you put on, I was I was wondering if it was like exactly like that.
let's see. I just try to even it up. I just let it go if it's a little uneven. I don't care, you know. It's unique. I just get it really wet. They're really easy to put on and take off. I haven't had one mess up yet, and I've put on a bunch. Now, when I do the personalization or the customization, whatever, I use my Cricut for that. I cut out stuff on my Cricut and use for that part for like names and customizing and stuff.
Which is a whole nother process all in of itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that bad boy's in a whole nother room. I can't fit it down here. I had to move my craft area from where it was upstairs to down here because it's too cold upstairs and my resin was messed up. Wasn't sitting right because it was too cold. All right, can you still see it? Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. All right, now here's where you take your resin and this is where you separate basically. And you mix your colors. It doesn't matter how much you put in or how little. You don't have to measure this. It's already mixed. That's
Okay.
going to drip. And yes, I shouldn't be using my fingers. Let's see. This is a really pretty purple color. This is what I did I think your notebook with.
The notebook. I have that right here, actually. So this was, oh God, can you even see? There it is. So this was the notebook that she made me, which is pretty cool.
I made that one a little bit lighter, I believe.
How did you do this with the double colors here? Are you going to show us that?
Oh, I just split it. The top half is nothing but clear resin with purple glitter.
Oh,
And
you
the
just
bottom
like
is a
poured them in
mica.
the same mold at the
Mm-hmm.
same time? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I poured them top and bottom and then just let them kind of melt together and mix.
I got you.
This one I'm just gonna pour a full solid
Purple.
base. Yeah, because these I like to do in a couple layers just to make sure they don't get. And I just pour kind of slow and fill up my outsides because I'll have to add more. This is not nowhere near enough. These little suckers look small, but they hold a lot of resin. The tray I did for the giveaway for Flock Fest took like 13 ounces. Is that,
Jeez.
yeah, wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, that was
Thirsty.
thirsty. All right, and then I just take what's left. And this is how I kind of get what do you call a gradient or something? Make it darker and lighter. Because like I said, you can want this to do something. It's not going to.
So do you like mess around,
Let's
like
see. And
swirling
what
it
I'll
around
do.
and like doing all sorts of other stuff with it? Have
Mm-hmm.
you done that?
Mm-hmm. I've done things like let your resin sit for like 30 minutes to an hour and let it harden up, and then try to thicken it up, make different designs in it. But trust me, she's still gonna want to do what she's gonna want to do.
Right.
Let's see, I can go a little bit more. So I'm gonna add some white in here, just playing around. Yeah, that's what I've been working on is the stuff for Block Fest. That's been fun. And I haven't put my memorial pieces. That's another thing I wanted to talk to you. I took your advice on how, I told you how I felt bad about charging people for that. I feel like,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm kind of taking advantage of the situation, or taking advantage of people, extorting people, whatever you want to call it. So we talked about it, and I think I decided to do the whole if you want a custom animal piece done, pet memorial, you can pay the shipping and send me the stuff. And then if you just pay the shipping to send it back, it'll be free of charge. And if you choose to make a little tip or a donation, whatever, that's fine. You don't have to, don't feel obligated at all. Um, I just know how hard that is and how expensive that is and how much they charge you to do that. So
You
I
do
just figured I
a
would cut some people some
incredible.
slack.
You do. Is she already? Do you still have the stuff you did for Grace?
Yeah, I have Grace. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen her yet. I wanted to bring her back myself. I get her. Yeah,
No,
she
I'm
takes
saying you
long.
could show it though if you still have it. You could show it.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask you if you wanted me
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
You
100%.
see all the bubbles?
Mhm.
Now, the fun thing about living in an 87-year-old house is that it's not level. So you see it, it's like, so I have to get really creative and find level spots in this house. All right, so
So
I
you
take my
just have
torch. Well,
resin
hold on.
sitting everywhere on top of random shit.
Everywhere.
Okay.
Well, it's I found one good spot over there on the shelf back there that when I put everything back there, it tends to level out good enough to where you can't tell. And see how when you spray it, they just disappear. Now, after you do that, I don't suggest you use a lighter on it. Remember, guys, I do have
Right,
flammable.
because you're gonna blow shit up. Shitmess is asking about a
I don't
human
think it'll blow up,
memorial.
but um, yeah. I mean, I don't think it would be much different. I just, I don't think I would mind doing that. At first I thought, about doing people, the energies and stuff, but what's the difference between that and pets, So I wouldn't mind doing a human at all. And like I said, that those I would offer for free. And then I just like to go in here and like just do whatever. Because no matter what I do, it's not gonna look like that when it's over and done. And that's the part that you have to like. If you have control issues, good luck if you want to try that. Look, there's a bubble in there.
Okay, so you really like manhandle that thing around there.
Mhm. Yeah, so that way it gets down in the little, it's like a little indention and it push all the
Right.
bubbles to the top. Because like I said, once it settles, it's like self-leveling. So I don't have to worry about, that part. But it will still level itself unlevel. So don't be fooled. I still have to put it in the safe spot. All right, let's see. So that one's pretty much ready for I like to let go about halfway in. Look at there. There's a willow here and there. I like to go halfway and then leave room for a bottom layer and do like a solid on the bottom. You see how that's all going to one layer?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is I kind of take them to my special spot and then I'll come back.
Okay. It's gotta go sit in timeout for a little bit and level out some.
Yeah, go sit and level out because
Yeah.
it won't stay
Whole new
level at the
meaning to
table.
sitting and leveling out.
All right, let's see. These right here just need, these are going for focus too. I've got one of these already ready. Let me show you what I mean about the craziness. That the way I poured that one, it just did the whole swirls. Let's see if I can get this in the light. That's not what that looks like. And resin pulls to the center as it cures. So all your design is going to kind of like pull from the edges into the center.
Can you just
But
set
hold
it
on, I'm
down
gonna,
on the table so that it can and
yeah.
just let it load for a second? Like it seems to it'll buffer out when it's just set and left, but when you start moving stuff, it takes a second for it to load.
There it goes.
What are the pictures on them, or is that glitter or is it a sticker?
Those are stickers. You
Okay.
can put all kinds of stuff in there: stickers, tattoos, vinyl from the Cricut. I don't use much paper. You can even put photos in there, but photos you need to either laminate or I just use Mod Podge. It's cheap. It works. I just do like 2 or 3 layers over the photo. That's how I did Grace's and put it in there, and it worked. It's perfect. I don't use paper stickers because you have to like I said, laminate or um put the Mod Podge on it.
Okay, so these are the notebook pieces,
These
right?
are the notebooks, yeah, that we'll be doing for
Okay.
Plot Fest, and they're
And
already
then
done. I just have to put the cover over them.
this is just your like sealant layer of it.
hmm the finishing layer, yeah. And like I said, I just spread it to the edges because as long as it's to the edges, as it cures, it'll pull and it'll go back to the center. Just put me a healthy big old dose on there.
How thick do you make that?
Very thin.
Okay.
Very thin. I just kind of like glob it on, and then you kind of like have to look in the light and make sure there's no bit. It'll pull and leave like little holes, and then I'll just take it and touch it, and it'll like close itself in. It pretty much does the work on its own. Pretty much.
Are we all just sitting here watching this? Because this is incredibly mesmerizing to just witness.
Oh, it is. I get lost in it too. And as long as we don't see any like holes,
Purple
then you
Princess
just
says the
let that
level of
cure.
patience that I don't have.
It it take yeah. It take well. My problem. This isn't the patience part. I have a problem with. Mine is the wait until it's completely cured to not touch it and not mess with it because I'm bad about that. I will go over there and start trying to. Oh, can I take it out yet?
Now,
I'm not patient at all.
do you put like sticky notes or something? Like, how do you keep track? Like, if you're making all these pieces, like, okay, so is it a full 24 hours or is it like give or take 24 hours?
It's a full 24 hours.
Like, how do you keep
If you
track
want it
if you're
good. Now, if
doing
you want them, well, I do them all at the same time, pretty much like I'm doing now. I'll just sit all these together in a bunch, and then I'll just come back the next day. And
Okay.
you can pretty much tap on them, see, and feel when they're pretty good to go. You can still work with them when they're a little bit flexible. I just wouldn't use like the stickers, um, or anything like that because it'll just be a mess. They'll sink down in if it's not cured enough. I've lost a
Mm.
many a sticker that way. I did trial and error because remember we was talking the other day. I said that a lot of the first timers come out bad looking with the
Mm-hmm.
new molds, and then the next time you do them, it's like you get it down and it's like good. It looks a lot better. These kind of stay more level on the table. All right, let's see. Let me do some of the smaller ones. And I make a mess, by the way, if you can't tell.
That's what Colin had said in the comments is that you made a mess.
I do. I make a mess. And I do a lot of,
Good.
I have to sand it off at the end because it goes over the edges sometimes, but I sand it down and it looks pretty. And I just know if I do it this way, it gets covered. There's not many holes left.
Do you use just regular sandpaper? Or is there
A
like a
nail
special
file.
kind of a
I
what?
just use a nail file.
A
The
nail
thick
file.
nail
Oh, okay.
files. Not them little thin ones you get at the dollar store, but the thicker ones, I use those. They work
Right.
perfect.
The big boys.
Even on the bigger pieces, they work perfect. All right, there we go. We can leave these sitting up here. They'll be fine. And these are little car coasters I'm making for Flock Fest too. I've got a lot of little goodies coming for Flock Fest. I'm too excited for Flock Fest. I just feel like it's going to take me forever. I'll be working right up to the day before.
You'll get it done. I have the utmost confidence. So you made these last year for Flock Fest. Were these the little lighter cases?
Oh, the lighter cases? Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Those
these.
were fun. They were a pain in the
Yeah, I can imagine that they were a pain in the ass, but yeah, she made these. So what are your molds? So you got the notebook. I know you have a coaster. You've made me a coaster. We've done the coaster with the zodiac sign.
Let's see, I've
You have
got
the notebook. You'd make
keychains.
incense burners.
And yeah, incense burners, ashtrays, little trays, little trinket
Ashtrays.
trays. I've got some new incense burners for Flock Fest that I've got going, 2 different kinds. I've got all kinds of keychains, and then the memorial pieces. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm leaving out. Oh, ink pens. I do some ink pens, some stash jars.
She made me a pin, and there's a jar. I think my pin is hidden by something right now.
Ooh.
I have a couple of your things saved too, so that we can show those as well when you're ready for that. So we just did the final layer on these pieces.
Yes, on those 3 right there. We can just kind of push them up there.
So do they have to be level, or are they gonna like do their own thing because it's just a little
They're
layer?
kind of thin enough. I filled them up enough to where they kind of, I can see that they're kind of just, they stay level. I do need to do this one more. And then I had some pieces that were ready to be pulled out. Also for Flock Fest. I need to find a bigger mold to put the rest of this in.
Oh, are we just gonna pick a random mold to use the rest of this stuff?
Yeah, I have a big one. It's a big old it might be enough to start it. It's a big moon. I just need something kind of big, but not too big, you know what I mean? I only used half. That's not too bad. I always over measure because if I try to do small amounts, I end up never having enough. So then I end up trying to run around finding molds to put everything in. There it goes. You see how it kind of just pulls back on itself.
I have a question for you. You know those candles that they have where it's like they're like these towers where it's like what are they called? You know what I'm talking about? Where they keep melting the can, you just keep putting the candle and like all the wax will drip down and it makes this like huge candle wax drip thing, sculpture.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. It's like a witchy thing. I don't remember what it's called. What are those called? Someone help us in the comments here because we know what we're talking about. We just don't know what it's called. So
we don't know what the name of it is.
Right? Can you do something like that with your like leftover resin that you like if you have a little bit left, like make it whatever color and then just always have like a mold that you pour into until it's done?
I do. The page spreaders, is that what we was gonna call those? The page spreaders, I do that with a lot. If I have a little bit left over, I just start layering it in there until it's full. I've got tiny like little molds that I'll do the same thing with, like pour just little tiny bits left until it's full. I do that with a lot of the smaller ones. Oh, there we
go. Paul says ditto. Nothing worse than starting a project and realizing you don't have enough.
I know. Especially with this stuff, because you have to literally start all over. You don't really want to mix on top of it because then you mess up your ratio. And a lot of people like to separate, like use 2 different measuring cups and measure out their part 1 and then their part 2, then mix it together. I don't like to do that because I feel like I'm leaving a lot of each behind in the other cup. So I just start with my resin and then pour my hardener over top of it. And I've never really had a problem with it.
That makes sense because it would stick to, it's so much sticks to the sides that it's actually not a direct 1-to-1 ratio.
You think you get it all out and then you come back and all the bottom's full. You've got a lot to go. And I'm like, well, there goes another little bit.
Oh. We have a question. Do you make men's necklace pendants?
I may, I'm not sure if you would consider that,
well, I was going to say, I have one here that we can pull up.
Don't let me put myself in the, I don't know if you can see it from here. They're just oval. Yeah, it might be too far away for you
I
to
was gonna say
see.
I can share. I have it pulled up right
You
here.
have it pulled up?
We
Okay,
can
because
do
they're
this.
just like, I
Yeah.
have oval and a round and a teardrop shape.
And then there's a teardrop one like this, but you can put whatever in here to make it more masculine or
Hmm.
feminine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can put like little charms in there. They have more manlier charms, you know.
Paul says because he does like the table pours. Paul says he's always got extra molds and some small earring molds for extras. Always good with daughters around. Mike wants to know if it
Oh,
smells
yeah.
like epoxy in there.
No, it's odorless. There's no smell to it at all. Now, I use a UV resin that stinks, especially when it's curing under the UV light. It smells really bad. I use a fan with that because yeah, it's bad for you. What color do we want to do this moon? White?
Paul says if you have the tiny shot glasses or pint glasses can be used as excess molds when cured, break the glass away and you have a paperweight or something.
Oh, nice.
So we're just using up the extra. What color are we going with?
White.
Okay. Do you ever
I
mix
gotta use a
multiple
lot.
powders together?
Sometimes, yeah, but I'd rather do them separate and then mix all my leftover resins together, like I did with the other one, and then just mix all that together. Because the more you mix, the darker it'll get. Oh yeah, it's starting to cure up. She's getting hard in there.
Oh yeah, it has been 30 minutes already.
You see, it's getting thicker, and you can feel the heat off of it too. As it cures, it heats up.
Right, because it's a chemical reaction.
And boy, it does get hot sometimes. Ooh. Oh, look at there. See, I just guesstimate.
Well, I
We
guess
don't
when you've been
measure.
doing this a while, you kind of know how much each mold ends up taking.
Yeah, well, this is a brand new one, so I've never used this one before. So
Oh,
we
okay.
did
So
literally just
you're just
guesstimate
that
on this
good
one,
then.
but
She's just that
look at
good.
there, that worked.
Look at that. Would you look at that?
Hold on, where's my now with the bigger ones? I like to use the alcohol so it don't, burn out on my lighter fluid. My torch fluid stay. It's still moving. I'll probably have to come back and spray that one again after a while. All right, let me move some of the stuff and we'll demold this. I just got a few of the You can't see me, can you? Hold on.
Does that have to go in a special place?
Yeah, I'll take it over there. It'll be okay for now.
Oh, those are your feathers.
Oh, this is what I was explaining to you about. This stuff has a mind of its own. Okay, do you see how that turned out?
That looks cool as fuck.
Okay, well, I did it just like the other one. I just kind of, right? When I poured it in like lines. Okay, this is my favorite part, taking these things out. It's just satisfying. I don't know why. Okay, when I flip it over, it's totally
Oh, that's so
different.
cool.
That's exactly how I poured it. So I didn't go down deep enough to make it swirled on the bottom, and that was completely unintentional. I see what I mean?
But
You
that
just
looks
have no
cool as hell,
control.
though.
It did. I'm proud of that one. I turned it over and looked through the mold, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be pretty. And I did the little. I love these feathers.
I love the I have your
They're
feathers here.
my
I love her
favorite.
feathers. I love these things. They're little
Each one of them
bookmarks.
come out so different.
I
Yeah,
like
some
that
of them come
middle
out a
one
little
there. What is
thicker.
that? Brown and red
This
and
one,
yeah,
brown, pink, and white. I did it with the same colors as that one. The
I
little
like
notebook
that.
up there. And that's a purple and white.
Yeah,
I
the
like
feathers are
those are
amazing.
my
Everybody
favorite.
likes the feathers. I'd be doing some of those feathers for. I think those feathers are gonna go at Flock Fest. Everybody's
I've
talking
got
about the
yeah.
feathers.
That's what I told Colin. I said I'm gonna have to do more of the feathers because they come out gorgeous. I love them. Oh gosh, let's see if we can get this on here. Jesus.
Oh boy.
Oh Lord. Mm-mm.
Here we go.
There we go.
She did it.
There we
What is that? Just a piece of cardboard?
Yeah. There we go. For a while, I was
It's like
having to
you're
sit on my trash can. It was the only level place we could find. Oh, now we got to do that again and knock it over. Oh, that mold don't want to fit today. All
we're
right,
trying
there
to
we go.
find a level place for the mold right now.
It should be
Shima
good
said
now.
she would buy a few of them, especially the more natural looking ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been
Just for
working
the
on some more.
sitters.
I got some more colors I'm gonna pull out. Oh, wait, Gracie.
She needs her a feather. Somebody else needs a feather. Oh, we got another feather. You're gonna have to make more feathers, girl.
Girl, I got a whole box right now. I'll make 2 whole boxes then.
So this is the stuff that you made me for great. Now, I refuse to send my dog back through the mail because my mailman doesn't like me and he likes to chuck shit on my driveway. So
Yeah, we won't.
Colin actually
Yeah, we're
made
not letting that happen.
Yeah, Colin actually made a trip and came and picked her up 'cause he was driving through. So he came and picked up her stuff for me. They made a special trip. And then she's going to bring this back down at Flockfest. Oh my God, that's bigger than I thought it was. I'm going to cry.
Oh yeah, girl. It's a bookend. That's the back. It's got the little pibble and it says, I will wait for you at the bridge, Grace. And then when you turn it over, it sits up like this, right?
Mm.
You can't even see that because it's a bookend. So you would put your books here and then you would just sit this up against it. Little.
That came out fucking beautiful, girl.
Isn't it? See, we all gonna cry now.
Yeah, we're all crying
Crying
now.
Don't cry now. Yeah, I'm proud of that one. Like I said, I've had some issues with. I'm a little what do you call perfectionist? And when something I don't feel looks right,
So I know that you guys can't
really
see that.
good.
So it has her tag. There's a little paw print in there, her picture, and then there's also a little vial of her ashes in there as well.
And there's a vial of her hair in here.
And her hair.
This one has her hair in it. This one has her ashes, and all of these little paw prints have her and the heart. The heart has them too. And I also put her into these. And then you can hang this. She's in here. And I made one of these for all 3 of you.
Thank you.
When you turn them over, they got her name, and then she's in. Look how beautiful. She's such a special little pup. And I'm sending you these extra pictures too that came out. I didn't want to make you cry.
I'm good. I'm fine.
I know y'all can't see that.
It's her little paw print and a necklace.
We put pictures. I posted the
went
pictures and telegrams.
you went so fucking far beyond and above with this.
You sent me plenty, and there's still enough left coming home. The only thing, there was no hair left. I used every bit of it, and then what was left, I put it down in her heart. And then we've got a bead for your hair
with her hair in it.
Because if you've got Dixie and you've got Charlotte, you got to have Grace too. And yeah, I'm gonna do these. I have several different. Like if you don't want this heart, I am getting something that's like a picture frame that has a little stand that it just stands up. So this is a bookend. But I will do these for nothing. Just you send it to me and then just pay the shipping back. That's my way of, just giving back a little bit.
Thank you
so
much,
love them.
Karma. It came out so fucking beautiful.
Thank you.
Jerry says he lost a brother to ALS, and this would be a great memory if we could do something like that for his memory. So yeah, just get a hold of Karma. Like I said, her information and everything is in the show notes, so you can get to her Etsy shop. She's also in the Flock telegrams. If you want to send her a message and figure out the logistics of everything like that. TikTok.
Yeah, all my DMs are open, like on TikTok, Telegram. I keep them open in case anybody has any questions or orders. I do have an Etsy shop, but if you want something customized, it's probably easier just to go ahead and contact me through, Telegram, TikTok, or my email address. I think I sent you that too. If
I
not, it's
don't have your
just
email address. We'll do it after, and I'll add it into I can add it into the show notes. I can add in your
okay.
email
I got you.
for
But
sure.
yeah, we're gonna bring this back. I want to bring it back before Vlogfest, but
Okay.
yeah, that is the lovely resin process. We even got a little bit
That
left over.
that was really cool to see because I've always been super curious about how like the whole thing was done. So I got a couple other things pulled up here I want to
Okay.
talk about. Hold on one second. Just getting them all up here. Where'd you go? All right, now we're back here. All right, I'm going to make this normal again here because you're just doing stuff now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put the extra in here.
All right, but I know that your sound is still on that, so I'm not going to cut it out yet. So we're
Yeah.
going to share screen, and we're going to do this. So this is one of the sets. So this is a jar that she's got here. Can you see it? So this is a jar, and then this is one of those lighter cases again, and then that's the top of it. So we have that one. There's a whole, now you sent me something very similar to this. This is my pink
Yes.
set that I got. So there's a
What's this?
ashtray, incense board, a whole tray. You got your pokers. I love my pokers. I use my pokers all the time. I got one at my desk. I got one over there. We got the jars. I love my jars and the lighter. I don't use my ashtray though. My one ashtray is on display and my other one is a trinket holder. I refuse to use them as actual ashtrays.
They are pretty though, I have to say.
Now these, if you know, you know, right?
Those are fun. I'll have some of them at Flockfest too.
Yeah, so what you do, these are a defense tool, right? They sit on your keychain and you put your fingers through them and you just, if you need to, right? Like it might not do much
If
damage,
you
but
need
it'll
to.
fucking hurt. Yeah.
It'll hurt. It'll hurt long enough for you to turn around and run off.
Yeah.
That's all you
Especially if you
need.
get them right between the eyes.
Exactly. Or the throat.
So these were like the
So now
trays
it's
that
just
you
the throat.
poured.
Like the one I just poured. Yeah. I put
Mm-hmm.
tattoo. That's almost like the one I did James too, but I did his with his band logo with vinyl instead of tattoos. Those are just tattoos.
I like that wolf one.
That one turned out so I was so proud of that.
What size
Oh, I
is the
loved it.
heart mold? Shitmess wants to know what size the heart mold is.
The whole lordy I'm gonna say like maybe six. I would have to let me measure it. It's bigger than my hand.
While she's measuring that, this is one of the sets that she made for Purple Princess that she uploaded into Telegram for me. So I did pull it out of there. As soon as
It's about an 8 by 6.5. I mean, well, yeah,
give or take.
give or take. About almost 8 inches across.
At the widest part there. Okay.
And then the widest from the middle is about right in there is about 7, close. It's pretty big. It's like a bookend. Oh, she's got lint. And the other piece I want to get to do these memorials is not quite as big. I don't think. I think it's a little bit smaller.
What is your most favorite mold to pour?
The feathers.
She's like the feathers.
The feathers.
What's the worst?
As far as like creativity, the hardest one. They're really not that hard. The bigger ones. They're my least favorite. The bigger ones, especially the thicker ones. I love the thin ones, but the thicker ones, you got to go slow and go in layers, go in stages. I like to let mine cure and then come back the next day and do the next layer on top. Especially if you're putting stuff in it, kind of gives it dimension. I like, but they're kind of hard to, and they take a lot. I didn't even measure how much that one took. I didn't even fill yours all the way up. So, oh yeah, her pyramid. That one took about 12 ounces as well. The next time
I'm
I do
trying to
one of
see.
those,
I
I'm gonna
was
holler
waiting
at you
for
too.
that one to load. Oh, because it's a video. Hold on, let me see if I can share this. That's why it took so long. I was waiting for it to load. There we go. Let's see. So these are the
It was the
pyramids and
mold
stuff.
purple princess.
This one, right?
Oh yeah, there's her pyramid with her little purple princess crown in there. I think I did her the little ones too.
So you remember when we were talking backstage and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill up an hour. This is going to be crazy. We're there. We did
We
it.
did it.
We did
We
it.
did it.
So I want to, if you're okay with it, let's open up, let's answer the chat. If anybody has any questions or,
Yeah.
any piece ideas or anything like that, we will open this up to you guys for a couple minutes and then we will wrap this up. This live, this was so, I could watch this shit all day long.
It was fun.
Oh
yeah, I love doing this stuff.
It's really cool to see like the breakdown in the process and like what actually goes into the pieces that you're getting and that you're making, right? And you do a whole bunch of other shit too. So you make
I do
journals, you do what else do
I've
you do?
made journals, I've made I've made like doll houses. I redo baby dolls, like porcelain dolls. I turn them into like haunted dolls. I make like what would you call them? Like voodoo dolls, but they're not voodoo dolls. They're just like little sock dolls and stuff. I make all kinds of stuff. Just I like to craft. I like to do stuff. It keeps me, it keeps me sane. Oh, boom, boom! Shut up.
Colin's in here. This is Carlin. This is Karma's Colin. Oh my God, that was a tongue twister. I almost fucked up on. You're just getting a whole bunch of they all love what you do and everything that you're offering here. This is absolutely amazing. Like I said, if anybody wants anything from Karma, her Etsy store's in the show notes. I will add her email and her I'll get your TikTok in there too. The Karma Rayne. It's at Karma Rayne Designs on TikTok.
And
If
just
you guys want
remember,
anything
I do this all by myself, one piece at a time. So don't don't throw like 500 people at me at once. That's what I'm scared of.
No, there's
I don't
only
want to get like
the max
overwhelmed
right
and
now.
not be
You're
able
gonna
to get.
hey, the max right now. Listen, we have. Can we do this like one of those old TV shows? Listen, for only the first 20 callers in right now.
For the first 20, you get a free. Oh look, and for Flock Fest, I'm also bringing an order book. So if I'm not bringing like a ton of everything because that would get quite expensive for me. So I thought about just bringing a couple pieces of each thing that I offer, and I'm gonna bring a notebook with me. So if there's something that was there that wasn't there when you came back, or you like it, you can just write it down, write your information down, and when I get back, I will contact you and we will work. We'll work it out.
That's a really good idea.
Like I said,
That's a really good idea.
Can't bring but so much.
Right.
Because when we come, we have to bring Gus. So that takes up quite a bit of room.
Gus takes up quite a bit of room in the car. Well, not only that too, but it also saves you from putting all of this time and energy into something that may or may not go anywhere. So no, I totally agree with you. I think that's a great idea to do kind of, especially if people want like custom pieces.
And then if I have anything that comes back, yeah, that way you could just get in touch with me through my email or TikTok, any of the DMs. If you want anything specially custom, if you just want something that's just random, that's fine. But if you want like a special color, name, anything like that, just get with me through the DMs or that way.
Now, do you charge anything extra for the customizations?
Depends on the size. Depends on how much lettering you want. I'm a pushover, honestly. So most of the time, I don't charge you much extra for that.
You should be, girl. Your time and your materials are valuable. Listen.
I know.
I'm telling you this because I also
need to. That's what Bax told me.
We're all the worst.
Bax is like, well, what about your time? I was like, what about my time? And she's like, you need to charge for your time. And I'm like, well, what else am I going to do, Bax? I just, that's what I do. But yeah, I try to price everything as I go. Like I said, I haven't been doing this book for a year. I've been trying to start this kind of business though since like 2006 after I had Luca. So I've been doing this I've been doing this my whole life, but I've been doing this for a while.
Shipmess is yelling at you. Yes, you will be
Shipmess.
charging extra for custom things. She will now be in charge of your books. She'll make sure we get this all
Okay,
handled.
Shipmess. Can I send my any disgruntled customers your way, Shipmess?
Yeah, you send them her way, you send them my way. We'll get them handled.
Okay, we'll take care of them.
I don't know what I said, Paul. What did I say?
What did she say? Thank you, Amy.
Oh,
I
that.
mean, I
Oh,
do
that I probably
understand
need
that.
to take my own. That I probably need to take my own advice. Yeah, that part probably.
I'm just the one. I'm the one that's like, am I charging too much? Because a lot of people don't understand what goes into like crafting. It's not like manufactured goods. You know what I'm saying? So most people just kind of take it for granted when they see like $35. They're like, well, oh my god, but they're not thinking it. It took me like 6 hours to make that. Well, 3 days if you want to think about it, with 24 hours in between. But yeah, it takes a while to make this stuff. So I understand about that. I just,
Well, and that's the other reason that I kind of wanted to do this too, is because like there is a process to this. There is a whole, I mean,
Mhm,
yeah, you made it look real easy, but I'm sure that it wasn't always that. I mean, you got to have
mhm.
everything set up. You got to know what you're doing. You only have 30
Yeah,
minutes to work with this shit.
exactly. You got to get into a flow. Once you get into the flow of it, it's repetitive each time. Your process is always going to be the same.
She says, believe it or not, I do have excellent customer service. Oh, we can tap into customer service real quick.
Turn on the customer service voice. I know you do, shit mess. She handles it.
Epoxy is expensive as shit too. People underestimate that
It
part of it
is.
right out the gate.
It is.
And
It is. It really is.
I
This
completely
one
agree, Amy.
though, is decent. I like this one. It's on the cheaper end, but not cheap as in quality, but cheap as in price. It's food grade safe, if that even exists, being that it's chemicals, but it says it's food safe. That way, when I was doing all the trays and the Mary Jane stuff, I wanted it to be, safe for people to put their stuff on.
Right.
And if you want to eat off of it, you can eat off of it because it is 100% food safe.
There you go. It could be a weed tray
Yeah,
or
it
a
is
TV
expensive.
tray.
Colin said, yes, it is.
Yep.
Yep,
Handmade
that's
items
all.
are much more valuable than bulk manufactured ones. I completely agree, Amy. I completely
Mhm.
agree.
And that's how I am, especially with like gift giving. I would rather make somebody something, put
Hmm.
my intent, my time, my effort. Like I say, if I make something, if I'm in a bad mood that day, I'm not going to sit down and do it. I'm not going to give you that energy in that piece. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I take that seriously. It matters. It really does. Same with
It
cooking.
shows too in your work,
Mhm.
though. It
It does.
100% shows.
It does. Especially learning that key patience. Slow down and let it cure. I've noticed that if I just let it go and wait a whole day or 2 days, sometimes it's a whole lot better and it's a lot more satisfying when it comes out like almost perfect because it comes out better than you imagined it.
Like
I had
that
a great
swirly do
piece did.
notebook one.
Yeah. That one shocked me when I looked at the back. I was like,
I like that one. I like it. Paul says I have to shop in liters and gallons for the tables unless I have a buyer already. It gets scary as far as price goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to kind of plan like I know how many pieces I can get out of a gallon and I know how many pieces I can get out of the, what is this one, the 32 ounce? Yeah. The 36 ounce. I know exactly how many pieces I can pretty much get out of both of them. And yes, you're right. It is very expensive. Bye, Purple Princess.
Well, have a good time at meditation. Purple Princess is leaving for meditation. Uh, on that note, this has been a great live.
This was fun.
You
This was
did
fun. It was a lot easier
amazing.
than I thought it was going to be. Thank you for
See,
having me.
you're so welcome. Oh my God, this was fucking fantastic. So very special thanks to you, Karma, for your time, for getting this all set up. I know a lot, like there was a lot of planning into this. Like we had this conversation. I was like, how long do you need? You're like, I need a month.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, we can
Yep.
do this. So yeah, there
Yep.
was actually a lot of planning and everything that got put into this to make sure that we had the different stages ready for you guys and everything. So thank you again so much, Karma, for doing this and sharing this with us and offering
Thank you
up
for having me.
your memorial services. I do appreciate so much what you did for Grace. It came out absolutely beautiful, and I'm not crying again.
No.
Thank you
Well,
all
it's
so much.
happy tears.
They are, well, yes, they are happy tears now because it is absolutely beautiful. So thank you, and I can't wait to get her back.
You're welcome. And thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you, everybody in the comments that showed up tonight, and anyone who is watching the replay of this. As always, it's a vibe. I'd also like to give a few shout outs. So James to Double and Low, who does the music for us, Goose with Here to Chew Bubblegum, and our sponsor, the Static and Noise page. All of these can be found in the channels tab. Also, make sure you keep checking that community tab. Sometimes randomly I put shit in there. Make sure you click the clickables, and along with clicking that, click the like and the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more to come. Karma, hang out 1 second for me as we get through this exit and flock around and find out, guys. Thank you so much. This was amazing.
Thank you. Bye, flockers.